That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a biggest early camp takeaways edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give that video a thumbs up. Helps me as well. Notifications on. You and I both know why. That way, you alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter or whatever Elon's calling it now. He changed it. I logged in and it was like X called X. Dude, I don't know. Anyways, I'm calling it Twitter. Type in Always Irish in the search bar at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishmd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can locate me. And the call-in lines, 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen from the first week of fall camp. It's a beautiful thing. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire, every damn day you wake up, you type them words in a computer, Notre Dame stories come out, read all about it. Here's the deal. I love what's going on right now. I absolutely love what's going on right now. You know why? Football's back. Football's back. NFL and college teams are back in camp. Hope is abound all over the country. America needed football back. America's never been more divided, but football brings us together, damn it. It's the only hate that's real love. We needed it. This summer dragged ass. It dragged by and this and that. We needed football. America needed football. It's back. And it's beautiful. As we get into the topic of the day, let's all realize, and I am acknowledging before you smart Alex get in the comments, let's all realize it's only been a few practices, all right? You would be a fool to draw any final conclusions about Notre Dame's season after a few practices, all right? Acknowledge that, everybody. I'm putting it out there. Acknowledge this. These early reports are not the end-all, be-all, but I still think they're informative as far as telling you how things look as we're getting started, where things stand, where certain players stand, position groups, whatever. So understand that, okay? These early reports are informative. It's a starting point. It lets you know where we're at. Don't make any grand conclusions about it, good or bad or whatever, all right? I'm putting that disclaimer out. Now, let's take a look at some of what I think are a few important items that have been reported from camp this week and how they might shape this year. I want you to see if you agree with me, disagree with me, whatever you think. Here's number one is, hearing that the players showed up mostly all in pretty great shape. That's beautiful. Okay, that's a good start. And I also really like hearing that there are some pleasant surprises. It's one thing when you expect a guy to come in looking like a beast and he comes in looking like a beast. It's a different thing for guys to come in that you don't know how they're going to look and you're pleasantly surprised and they look like they need to be in the mix early. That's a different thing. I'll give you two of those. And maybe not even in the mix early, but just showed up with bodies that are opening eyes. Jeremiah Love, fast cannot be denied. Fast cannot be denied. Okay, you can't teach speed. You can't learn speed. You can't do any of that. Speed cannot be denied. And everybody's rode all week. Love, oh my gosh, like look at this speed. You can't teach that. If that guy's that big of a weapon, you got to find a role for him. I don't care if he's a freshman. I don't give a crap that he doesn't know all the blocking schemes a full, robust running back needs to know. He doesn't need to know that to be effective this year. You figure out a way to make this guy and maximize that speed. Okay? He doesn't have to be a finished product to help you this year. But if it's that obvious, he's that fast and he's that much faster than anybody else we have, you have an obligation to find a role for the guy this year. Freshman be damned. All right? Sometimes Notre Dame coaches have a history of playing it so close to the best, and they're so risk averse to playing younger guys and giving them a shot. Like, You can't teach speed. If he's that big of a burner, you need to find a role. I'm not saying a full-time role. You need to find a role. Here's another one, Brennan Vernon. And you all know, if you watch my show regularly, that's personal to me since I do have a relationship with this family. Everybody seemed impressed with his physical transformation that I've been notified has been going on all offseason and all winter and all spring. Getting pictures and videos of his workouts and the stuff he's doing to try and get in shape to come to Notre Dame for this week. Slimmed down, muscled up, ready to go. And I love hearing it. I loved hearing the media go, oh my gosh, look at Brennan Vernon. And I heard guys saying, physically, obviously, don't get out of yourself with what I'm saying next. Looks like a Bosa brother. And there's the Ohio connection, and Ohio State wanted him and all that. And then I'm hearing he looks like a Bosa brother. Yeah, give me some of that. Give me some of that. And the other thing I'm going to tell you, from my knowledge of this family and relationship with them, he's built differently in the mind as well. And that is going to serve him well. He does not operate in his mind like an immature freshman or any of that. This guy's at a different level and a different gear in his mind, and that's going to help him as well. So those are true freshmen. You gotta love hearing that they come in there and physically they're surprising in a good way and they're that young. That is a beautiful start. And it's also worth noting when we talk generally about the team being in good shape coming into camp, it's kind of interesting that the guy responsible for a lot of that is no longer here as of this week. Keep that in mind. That's an important note. If I'm going to go down the road of touting how physically good our guys look, I got to acknowledge that part too. And I've seen some people go, oh, strength and conditioning, whatever, dime a dozen, like you could figure it out, no problem. Bayless already has a program there, just keep it rolling, whatever. I want to remind some of you people, in the early to mid part of the Kelly years, we were getting worn down in November, getting pushed around in November, gassed in fourth quarters in November, had nothing in the tank in November, hanging on to wins or catching losses late in games, late in seasons in November. There were offensive linemen playing for Notre Dame that were 28 to 30 pounds lighter in November than they were in September. That's how you lose games in November and get pushed around. They were not physically maintaining those gains, and they were losing 25 to 30 pounds, and then we get into November, they're getting pushed around. That is a direct, tangible Notre Dame example of how this strength and conditioning thing matters so much. So Notre Dame's got to maintain whatever they got to do through the year and then reevaluate that situation. But for anybody who doesn't think it's a big deal and how bad could it be in the year, I just showed you how bad. Offensive linemen losing 30 pounds and getting pushed around later in the year, bad. That's a problem. Number two, a lot of the reports are saying the corners have been dominating and they've been the best overall group in early practices. Led by Morrison, Mickey, listen, they're getting reported as being the best unit on the field in a lot of these practice sessions. When's the last time Notre Dame fans heard that? Or actually believed it? Or thought it was realistic? It's been a long damn time. Great sign as defending the pass is a premium situation. Excuse me, a premium situation in modern football. And for all the talk we do about the skill positions and wide receivers and all that, corner is a skill position, man. And it's never been more important in the game than it is right now, the way it's being played. I like hearing that this unit is leading the day. And you know what else that it helps me think too? While the corners seem to be excelling and doing great, if you're like me, you still have a little anxiety, more than a little anxiety about the safeties. If the corners are that good, it takes a little pressure off the safeties. They still got to perform, but if they're way above average good, that helps them back there a lot, I think. So I like hearing that because it's a premium position and one Notre Dame's not used to being that great at. Let's be honest. Maybe you have one guy, but to have multiple guys you feel good about back there is different. Here's number three thing early report I like. multiple freshman wide receivers are going to be in the initial wide receiver rotation. At least Greathouse and Flores, for sure, from everything I've read and seen. This is what Notre Dame needed. This group needed a big upgrade, a big shakeup on the depth chart, guys making moves. That's exactly what Chancey Stuckey needed out of this group. And it looks like he's got it. Looks like he's getting it. Younger guys bursting into these roles is huge. It's an instant impact on the field. And it pushes the older guys in that room to know, man, if I don't make plays here and get open and catch the damn ball, I'm getting my spot taken by a freshman. And that is like that kind of peer pressure raises everything. It makes everybody have to be on point. This Chancey Stuckey's done a great job. He inherited, in my opinion, the worst position group that needed the most work when he came to Notre Dame, and he's flipping it from an obvious weakness, holding the team back, to what could be a strength in a year or two. He's doing a great job, and Notre Dame needs to pay him whatever they could pay him to keep him around after this year when NFL teams and everybody else comes calling. Pay that guy and keep him around. And I know that's not a popular thing for Notre Dame's administration to want to do. Pay up for football, but I need it, okay? So I think Greathouse and Flores are going to get a chance early. And I am not saying they are finished products and everything they do is going to be perfect this young. I'm not saying that. But if their talent is that obvious that they can't keep them off the field as freshmen and we could use the boost, it's a great start. I love hearing that. So those are three of my big early takeaways. The players being mostly in great shape and the pleasant surprises of depth guys and younger guys, even freshmen, coming in with more play-ready bodies than a lot of people thought. That's a great sign. The corners dominating, we're just not used to hearing that in Notre Dame. That's beautiful too. And then multiple freshman receivers are going to be in that mix right away. Hey, I love it, man. If you make plays and you get open, you deserve to get out there on Saturdays. Now, again, it's early. None of these reports should be considered gospel. Things can change. There will be ebbs and flows in camp where the defense will do better than the offense one day, and then the offense will do. We get all that. There may be some over-exaggerations, intentionally or unintentionally, about certain things. We understand all of that. But these early reports are exactly that, early reports. And you can only go over what you're seeing and hearing early. Okay, so there's some good stuff going on. I know the Heat's getting to some guys, but overall, I think the health is holding up pretty good. I know Smith had something done, a procedure done, but I think there's a lot of like Heat guys that are out for certain things or whatever. But everything seems good overall, nothing catastrophic. So the next things I want to hear about the guards being great and being solid and holding up. And I want to hear about the defensive line pushing people around and holding up. Okay, so it's interesting here that I have desires to see both of these going against each other. I want to hear that those guards are holding up, and I want to hear that D-line's getting pushed. I don't know if I can get both at the same time because they should be going at each other and somebody's got to win. But that's more of what I want to hear next, okay? What am I missing? What do you guys see that I haven't seen that is on your radar? Whatever, let me know. But this is what's standing out to me early. Have a good one.